kids, it's Mrs. Monica Joe, and I am here today to introduce to you the lesson for this Sunday. One of my favorite stories, if you can tell, I've got lions all around me. It is Daniel in the lion's den. This story will be found in the book of Daniel, chapter 6, verses 1 through 28. Hopefully you will do the crafts that go along with this lesson and also all of the activity pages. We have activity pages for the younger kids, for the older kids, some that are easier and then more challenging. And then we also have a fun snack idea. And then don't forget to let your parents guide you through the story with the parent story guide. So when you read this story, you're going to find it's full of excitement. There is conspiracy, there's jealousy, there's major courage and boldness, and there's miracles. So it's just an awesome story. And again, just another opportunity for us to remember how faithful our God is and how mighty He is to save. So I pray that you will be blessed by this Bible study and encouraged, okay? So let me just tell you a little bit. I don't want to give away the whole story, but this story takes place in Babylon, and Daniel had been in exile there for many years since he was a young boy, and by the time this story takes place, he is already well over 80 years old. And he has gained such favor in King Darius's eyes that he was made one of the 3 major administrators over the land. And he worked with people that didn't believe in God, that served false gods and idols, but he found favor with this pagan king. And people were jealous. They didn't like that Daniel was given so much power and responsibility. And it had come to the point where King Darius was ready to make Daniel the ruler over the whole land. And the other administrators were like, okay, no, we got to do something. So they conspired to try to entrap Daniel. What can we find on Daniel that will put him in a poor light? And they looked and they looked, and scriptures say that they could not find anything wrong with Daniel. It said they could find no corruption in him because he was trustworthy and neither corrupt nor negligent. So Daniel did a great job at everything he was given. He was honest, he walked with integrity, and he walked upright and righteous before the Lord. So they couldn't find any fault with him. But that didn't stop them, right? They were so jealous. They were just eager to catch Daniel in something. So what they ended up doing is tricking King Darius into making a law that for 30 days, no one in Babylon could worship any other god other than the king. And this played into King Darius's pride, unfortunately, and he thought, oh, that sounds like a good idea. I am doing a pretty good job. They should worship me. And so he signed it into decree, and once that happened, King Darius could not go back on his word. He could not reverse that law. And so the administrators thought, okay, now we've got Daniel. We've trapped him because if he really loves his God like he says he does, then there's no way he's going to go 30 days without praying. It troubled Daniel because he knew what was going on and what was being conspired against him, but it didn't stop him from courageously and boldly praying to God 3 times a day, not in hiding, but in public. He wasn't trying to hide from anybody. And the administrators caught him. And so they brought him before King Darius, and King Darius was like, oh no, like what did they make me do? And so anyhow, he tried to think all day long, like what can I do to try to, free Daniel? But the evening came and everyone said, okay, you signed this into law, so we've got to do it. Daniel broke the law and now he needs to pay. So you need to throw him into the den of the lions. And so King Darius had to. He threw him in the den, and they put a big stone lid over the hole to make sure that no one could go in or out. And then poor King Darius, went to his room, didn't eat, couldn't sleep. He just agonized over it all day long because Daniel was a friend of his, and it really troubled him that he had been tricked into putting his friend into a sticky situation. But the amazing thing is that the lions did not hurt Daniel. There wasn't a scratch to be found on him when King Darius rushed to the den in the morning, and he said, Daniel, are you there? Answer me if you're okay. And this is what Daniel said in verse 21. O king, live forever. My God sent an angel, and he shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me, because I was found innocent in his sight. Nor have I done any wrong before you, O king. The king was so overjoyed. He was just so relieved, and he gave orders to get Daniel out of that den. And when he brought him out, he saw that there wasn't a scratch on him, no wound to be found. He was in perfect condition because he had trusted in God. Well, this made King Darius mad, and so he commanded that the men who falsely accused Daniel be thrown into the lion's den along with their families. Wow, that's some pretty brutal punishment. And then after all that, King Darius ended up making a new law saying that everyone was going to revere and fear the God of Daniel. So what a way for this whole story to turn around, that this pagan king came to realize that, wow, the God that Daniel serves is mighty. He saves and he performed miracles. And so the same goes for us today. God is still the same God. He is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. He is always faithful, and he can do the impossible, even close the mouths of the lions. And it wasn't that the lions weren't hungry, because as soon as he threw those administrators and their families in, it says in scripture that the lions had crushed their bones before they even hit the ground. So they were clearly hungry. It was a miracle that they didn't touch Daniel. So during this time of everything that we're going through, all this uncertainty, some fear, some anxiety, some confusion, maybe loneliness, whatever it is, trust God to walk through these times with you, because he will not fail you. He will uphold you with his mighty hand. And again, he is still the God who does miracles. And so what miracle is he going to do in your life? Maybe that's even just an attitude shift or perspective shift. But find the joy in this time. Count your blessings. And be sure to be encouraged by his word. That's why we're bringing you Bible studies every Sunday, every week, so that you can be encouraged with your family and continue to walk boldly and courageously during this time. I love you guys so much. I miss you. Have a wonderful weekend. It's been gorgeous over here. I hope you've been getting fresh air and exercise, and find some new creative things to do with your family this weekend. All right, I will see you next week. Love you. Bye.